Hi Bobcats, this is Miss Lee, and today we are going to continue our lessons on the percent proportion by learning how to use the proportion to find the part. So this is part 2 of our 3 videos. Make sure as you're watching the video that you are taking good notes. Okay, Marilyn saves 40% of the money she earns each month. She earns $350 each month. How does she save? How much does she save? Okay, so we talked about this, how we need to go through the problem and we need to identify what is the part, what represents the whole, what is the percent, what we're looking for. Well, if I look at my question, it's asking, how much does she save? It doesn't ask what percent she saves. It says, how much does she save, meaning how much money. That is the part that we're looking for. So the part is our unknown variable n, and it represents the savings, how much she saves. We talked in our first video about how the part and the percent represents the same thing. So if the part that we're looking for is how much money she saves, then the percent has to talk about the percent that she saves. So going back, it says that she saves 40% of the money she earns. That is our percent because it has the percent symbol and it's talking about how much she saves. So this is the percent that we want. Then it says she earns $350 each month. Well, that is going to be the whole, $350, the total. And just as before with finding the percent, you can use the percent bar model or the percent proportion to solve the problem. We're going to do it both ways so that you can see how to use the model. So with the model, we're going to cut our percent into 10 equal parts so that each part equals 10%. So we draw the line down the middle, and then we're going to do 4 lines in front and 4 lines behind. You can label them. I'm just going to label the 50%, 10, 20, 30, 40. So this is 50% right here. I know that each one is 10%, so I can kind of label as I go. Then I want to do the same thing for the whole. If I shade nothing on this bar, that means that that's $0. If I shade the whole bar, then that represents the whole total amount of $350. Now, just as we did with 100%, we divided it into 10 equal parts. We want to do the same thing for our $350, and that's going to give us $35. So each tenth or each section here, each part represents $35. So we quickly label them. Now we're looking for the part. What part do we want? The part that is 40%. So I come over here, if this is 50%, that means this is 40%. So that means from 0 to 40% is how much money. Each part is $35. I can add them up, or I can multiply 35 times 4. I know that 35, one part is 35, so 10% is 35. If I add another 35, that gives me 70. If I add another 35, that's 105, and another 35 makes 140. So the part is $140. Now let's check it. Let's do the percent proportion. So we've already found the part, the whole, the percent, so we just fill out our proportion. Part to whole. The part is our n, the whole is 350, equals percent. The percent is 40%, always out of 100. Okay, so now we're ready to solve. Looking at this, I know that I need to go from the right to the left because our unknown is over here on the left side. I can't turn 100 into 350, but I can simplify the 40 over 100. And my little shortcut trick, since they both end in a 0, I can cross off the 0, and that's the same as dividing by 10. Now, can I turn the 10 into 350? Sure, I can multiply by 35. Do the same thing here. Multiply 4 by 35. If you need to do the math off to the side, do it. 35 times 4 is 20. 12 plus 2 is 14. And it equals $140. It's a dollar sign, which is what we got right here. Okay, let's go to the next example. If you want to do the percent bar models, you go right ahead. I'm going to stick with the percent proportion. I feel that that is easier less work. And sometimes the bar models just don't work real easily. Okay, there are 300 sixth grade students at Spring Forest Middle School. Using the circle graph, we're going to determine the number of students that have chips as a snack. Okay, so we want to determine what? The number of students that have the chips as a snack. Is that the percent? No. Is that the whole or the part? That's the part. So we're looking for the part. That's our unknown variable n. And the part we're looking for is the chip part, which means the percent needs to be chip as well. Looking at the circle graph, you can tell this is a percent graph. It gives you all percent amounts. So let's find the percent for the chips. And the chips are right here, 18%. So that's our percent, 18%, which means we're finding the whole. There are 300 sixth graders, that's the whole. Now let's set it up. Part n to whole, 300, equals percent, 18%, always out of 100. And now let's solve. Since our unknown is on the left, we're going to go right to left. We're getting larger, so we're going to multiply, and the scale factor would be to multiply by 3. Use the same scale factor on the top, multiply 18 times 3, do the math off to the side if you need to, and you get 54. So 54 students chose the chips. Okay, last problem. 80% of the students in Jackson's class are wearing Crocs. There are 30 students in his class. How many students are not wearing Crocs? There's our question. How many students are not wearing Crocs? That's the part. We're looking for the part that is not wearing Crocs. So this is our unknown variable n that represents an unknown number. The part is going to be not Crocs. The part and the percent have to represent the same thing. So if the part is not Crocs, then the percent also has to be not Crocs. Going through, it says that 80% are wearing Crocs. So we have the percent 80, but that doesn't represent the not Crocs. That represents those that have Crocs. Well, we know the total percent is 100%. So if we take that 100% and we represent how many are, or we subtract how many are wearing Crocs, the 80%, that will give us how many are not wearing Crocs. Because remember, you're either wearing Crocs or you're not wearing Crocs. So 20% is not wearing Crocs. And we're looking for the whole. There are 30 students in this class. That is your whole. Okay, I'm going to set it up. Part over whole, n over 30, equals the percent, 20%, always over 100. And now let's find our scale factor. Our unknown is on the left, so we're going to go from right to left. We cannot turn 100 into 30, so we need to simplify. I'm going to use my shortcut trick because I see they both end in a 0. Cross off a 0 on each. That's the same as dividing by 10. Now we have 2 over 10, and we can definitely turn this 10 into 30. We're getting bigger, so we multiply by 3. Do the same thing with the 2, and 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 students are not wearing Crocs. This one says 24. Why do you think it says 24? Because the 24 represents how many are wearing Crocs. 80% is the 24. So this is a wrong answer. This one should say 6 students. All right, good job, Bobcats.